Let me ask you a question real quick. How do we go from this to this? Yeah, this looks terrible, doesn't it? So if you couldn't tell by now, I don't like this multiplayer. I swear, I sat here for like 10 minutes trying to think of one compliment. I just couldn't. I couldn't find one. Actually, there is one. You want to know what it is? The skins. Some of the skins look cool. Something that has nothing to do with the game mechanically is the only compliment I can think of. But I am going to say something that is going to confuse probably all of you, especially if you consider what I just said a couple seconds ago. So let me just say it. Uncharted 4 is actually good. See, I told you you'd be confused. Before I explain myself, I want to talk about the tragedy that Uncharted 4 multiplayer is. Where do I even start? So let's just start off with the in-game story. Why am I going against AI in a multiplayer game? There's nothing innovative about it. It's just a chore to deal with. There's a reason why they ban this stuff in tournaments, because it's just so stupid. What were they trying to do with Mysticals? 1 minute it feels like you're playing Uncharted, and then the next minute it feels like you're playing a Dark Souls mission. This adds no value to the multiplayer. If anything, it devalues it. It's a senseless mechanic that adds nothing. The whole in-game store thing is just so shit. This is the most unbalanced multiplayer to exist. I know that saying is like really watered down, but this multiplayer is just so unfair. Boosters are so unbalanced, man. I will say I like having 4 boosters. It allows you to add variety to your playstyle, but everyone rocks the same shit, so it doesn't even matter. Mark on damage is by far the most broken booster. If you hit someone with 1 bullet, it outlines them for like 8 seconds. Combat marking is pretty much the same thing. If someone shoots you, it marks them for 10 seconds. It's pretty much just legal wall hacks at this point. But the booster I want to specifically talk about is Weapon Expert. For the record, I'm not trashing on what it actually does. It lets you jump and aim at the same time. Ever since I put this booster on, it's been a totally different game. I'm actually a fan of it. It's one of the only things they added that's a pretty big W.
Weapon Expert, bro.
But here's the thing. It's a booster. That's locked. You have to buy it. It's pay to win. Personally, I think it should have just been a base mechanic. No booster, no nothing like that. You should already be able to jump and aim at the same time. You have a major disadvantage if you don't use Weapon Expert. It's gotten so bad that if I don't have the booster, I'm not gonna play. Oh boy, let me tell you how OP the weapons are. This game is a joke when it comes to weapon balancing. They did not test these weapons. Kravosk, OP. The HS, OP. The Foul, OP. Argual, OP. Aegis, OP. Pretty much 90% of the pistols are OP. The secondaries are primary. It just doesn't even matter. This game doesn't matter. I think I can sum up this multiplayer in one word. Pointless. I've dedicated a lot of time to become the best sniper, a playstyle that takes skill and a lot of commitment, and I have successfully done that. However, what is the point of getting good at this multiplayer if you can just utilize the noob-friendly mechanics and get the exact same result? What's the point of challenging someone and rushing them if they can just blind fire? What's the point of downing 3 or 4 people just for them all to get res by 1 res pack? What's the point of getting good if you just get countered by sidekicks and mythicals? There is no point, because this game doesn't fucking matter. And don't you dare say,
I play this game for the multiplayer experience.
shut your ass up, man. Stop lying to yourself and claiming that this multiplayer is good. It's not. It's unfair, it's unbalanced, and it's fucking stupid. Also, the maps in this game are just so awful. Out of the 14 maps, which is an embarrassing low number, I could probably nitpick like 4 that are worth playing. The others are just worthless. And can we just stop adding dark maps in multiplayers? The visibility on this game isn't bad or anything, but just leave this stuff to horror games, man. And the colors for these maps are just so dull. It's all green and gray and brown. There's no color to it. And listen, I can ramble for hours about how much I hate this multiplayer, but I want to explain what I said earlier, why I think Uncharted 4 is good. So it took me a while to realize this, but this game could have been great. They just gave it to the wrong team. The more I look at it, the more I realize that the Uncharted 4 engine is the best I've ever played. The multiplayer team was given this engine on a silver platter, and then they made the abomination that this multiplayer is. I think this game suffers from Modern Warfare disease. Do me a favor and erase this multiplayer from your memory. if you haven't done that already. Uncharted 4 on a base level is criminally overlooked. Things like gunplay, graphics, movement, all of that is S tier. It was just implemented in a bad multiplayer, just like how Modern Warfare was. The potential for it is insane. If you didn't know already, the same people who made The Last of Us Factions is the same people who made this multiplayer. I recently played Factions again after like 10 years of not playing it, and as I was playing it, I was like, wow, this game strongly resembles U4. The team tried so hard to make U4 as similar to Factions, and that is exactly why this multiplayer failed. I'm not gonna give my opinion on Factions. I mean, it's okay. It's not great, but it's fine. I can see the appeal. The Factions team, they already have their game. They already have their community. Then they just barged into the Uncharted scene and ruined everything. And also, I want to talk about the whole down system. I think people believe that this multiplayer died because of downs. I disagree. There are good multiplayers that have a down system. Yes, I understand it's different from U2 and U3's multiplayer, but that doesn't necessarily mean it couldn't have been implemented in this one and be considered a bad mechanic. I think what makes a downing system bad is the attributes that are connected to it. Chintamani stones, res packs, saviors, helping hand. The fact that you're able to get revived the same second you got down, that shouldn't even be allowed. It's just stupid. There are also boosters that help you, like being able to detonate a C4 when you're down, being able to mark people. They just added so many tools that assist someone that's downed. So it wasn't the down system that killed it. It's what was contributing alongside that put the nail in the coffin. And also no kill feed, like what? Naughty Dog doesn't understand the potential that this engine has to make one of the best multiplayer games to exist. They're too preoccupied with their lesbian zombie game. The movement is just so underutilized.
Fuck you. God damn.
Unresponsive, yes, but that can all be fixed. The possibilities with the ropes are insane. The multiplayer is terrible. Don't think I believe otherwise. But the base game and its engine is some of the best I've ever played in my life. Could you imagine if this game had something like Search and Destroy? It would actually be worthwhile. Something that this multiplayer can offer that isn't utter shit. Or maybe even like a BR, like Naughty Dog, please utilize this engine for something. But we're not going to see anything because this company doesn't care. In conclusion, Uncharted 4 multiplayer gets a poop emoji out of 10. I'm not an advocate for this multiplayer. Do not play this shit. It's filled with speed glitchers, lag switchers. It's just filled with gremlins who play this game 24/7 and then proceed to shit talk you as if they mean something. Just don't play it, and hashtag bring back Uncharted